Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Guys on Sports. We are back better than ever. Recording a day or two early this week because
because we can do that.
We have an outing plan.
Yeah,
right?
we're going to see my favorite basketball team, the Orlando Magic.
New favorite.
Playing against Rocky's
New
favorite
favorite.
team on Tuesday.
Yeah, and my team, I tell you what, we've been unlucky against you guys. We have not.
Unlucky?
Why are you saying?
you guys
Why are you
have-
saying you guys and looking at Phil? It's my team.
No, it's the Knicks.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the Magic.
Yeah, no, we have not been unlucky against the Magic. But the Magic, I have to say, for their record, they're a better team than their record.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't
Bright
like
future.
that you're using unlucky here,
Well,
inferring that there's luck involved.
no, there's luck involved. I mean, honestly,
not, really.
neither team is 100% up to speed, right? I mean, you'd say that.
Yeah,
And
we were
both
missing our best player.
Yeah, we were missing one of our best players. So, like we're both not 100%. I'd love to see the team's 100% up to speed.
Well, we
Did
can
it-
see
did
that.
that
But you
happen?
guys have owned us the last 3 games.
It was a good game, the last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Well,
was
we
entertaining.
came out on fire. Then you guys took over that second quarter, looked amazing.
Yeah, Brunson and
Yeah.
Mitchell, it really shows you what should have probably happened. Both of them playing together in New York is what should have happened if Danny Ainge was
couldn't afford it.
Couldn't afford it. Danny Ainge is a piece of garbage. Is what he is. Piece of trash.
Dude, the right thing.
But I'll say this: Brunson outplayed him.
Yeah, no, he did that
did.
night for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was exciting.
Do you
Yeah.
think we have an opportunity to see Spida? Let's just calm that. Drop 71 maybe Tuesday?
Is he going to
Honestly,
play?
that would be great because he's on my fantasy team and I'm in a championship. So I would like that actually.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to play. Although if I'm the Cavs,
When's that? Do they play the night before? Is it a back-to-back?
No, it's there's another game on the 6th or something.
well, there's a game. There's a day in between,
Yeah.
but they're playing back to back. They're
I'm
playing.
talking about the Cavs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the Magic.
Well, they're playing each other back to back.
Oh, they're playing it back-to-back?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Is it a home and home?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, it's
Or they're
both in Orlando.
Okay.
4th and 6th. It is a day in between.
Yeah.
A rest day.
Magic
in
need
between.
to win. Magic need to win out, and they need the Bulls to lose like a game or two in order to make the play-in.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't think the Cavs can't get to the 3rd spot very
No, but
easy.
there's a chance the Knicks could catch them.
Yeah.
A
But it doesn't
remote
really
chance.
matter because like either way they're playing each other.
I would like to play in New York the first 2 games, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys would like to play in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so why don't you tell us about our social media happenings and let people know what they can stick around for later.
Yeah, so with our TikTok take, we're actually pulling a comment from Instagram this time. Jackson Fellers asked for
The
Rocky's top.
famous Jackson.
Yeah, he comments a lot. I appreciate the support, Jackson Fellers. He said, "I need your top 12 list." Wow, I need your top 12 wide receiver list at the Rockfather. So stick around for the end of the episode. Rocky is going to be dropping his top 12 fantasy wide receivers. Famously, spoiler alert, Drake London is probably 12th on that list, but is in his top 12. So stick around and you might learn something.
Nice. All right, so Rocky, besides that, is there anything else you want to tell the people about what we've been getting into the last few days? I mean, we've been talking a little bit of basketball.
I don't know where he's going with that. Yeah.
Well, no, I wanted to touch more on the NBA playoffs, just that matchup, and you're wearing your Devils jersey, and the Rangers played the Devils on Thursday, and lost.
I'm
Playing
2-1.
the Devils in
Something
the
like
first round. That's going to be fun, but I mean, playoffs are upon us. I think
I'm excited.
we should probably start trying to plan out, maybe just kind of picking some series, stuff like that.
Yeah, let's puck with Phil Fasquale.
Let's
come
puck.
back on.
yeah, we got to bring that back, don't
Yeah,
we?
I still have
It's the
this
greatest intro
It might
maybe
be
I
the
ever
greatest.
made.
Is it in here?
I don't know.
Let me see. Let's
Yeah,
check.
it's
Go ahead and
be.
press a button and see.
Yeah, where is the baseball? Oh, here, yeah. This is good. This is real good.
Let's fuck with Phil Pasquale.
That's the greatest. I sound like an announcer. I think
Yeah,
I
you
could
do.
get
You
hired.
could've-
No, that's good.
Yeah.
I can
That's
get
good.
hired there, you know?
Time machine.
Impressive that you just know where that is off memory.
Well,
I don't. It's
listen,
there. It has a label.
oh,
yeah.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Well,
They're on the screen.
He has to, a little bit,
Yeah.
like he gets an erection when he hears. I mean, because
I like it.
Yeah, you felt honored when I did
Erection
that.
is strong.
Yeah, but you felt honored when I did that.
No, yeah, I like it. I
And
mean,
the
I don't hate
graphic
it.
was great. Phil's head fell down into the screen. When
Yeah,
we
but
used
you
that.
put me in a.
Islanders.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I didn't like that.
I did. Yeah, I did.
All right, boys. So we're moving on with our series of touching on all the divisions in the NFL.
Touching everything.
Touching everything.
Touching,
Way
feeling.
too early fantasy preview. Just stuff we're seeing. Obviously, this is about a month before the draft, after free agency, just to timestamp this. But we're going to be talking about the AFC South. Probably the worst the worst division.
You need a
Jesus.
diversion to look at this.
The worst division in pro sports. I think I could say that and feel pretty confident.
I'd argue the NFC South is worst.
I don't think so.
I mean, the Jags are better than any team in the NFC South.
Are they?
Yeah.
Let's think about that.
The Bucks, the
I
Falcons,
guess, yeah,
the Panthers,
that's
the
true.
Saints.
I'll give you that point.
And then those other three teams kind of look like the other three teams from the South. So, like, it's really...
Okay, so currently you're probably right.
Yeah. I mean,
But
things
think
happen after the draft.
I think historically,
Oh, yes.
they're the worst division in sports.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference being at least two of these teams will have new quarterbacks going into next season.
Who, the Colts and the Texans?
Yeah.
And probably rookie quarterbacks. So, there could be some exciting times.
Yeah.
could
Hey,
be.
exciting for your fantasy teams, too.
Yeah.
So obviously Mark is not on set, so we have a team up for grabs. That's the Texans. Do we want to talk Texans first?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it. So how are we going to attack?
I thought it'd be fun if we pick, since the Texans weren't something that we picked to talk about individually, we pick somebody you shouldn't draft in fantasy.
Okay, there you go. All right, so start us off then while I look up the Texans.
I will
depth chart.
also look up the Texans roster.
Yeah, I think there's a few. I mean, me personally, I'm probably, as much as I like Nico Collins, I'm probably staying away from their wide receiver core just because, to invest anything before the season in a wide out there, not knowing what that offense is going to look like,
Yeah,
I
you
just
gotta
think it's
stay.
a waste of a ride. There's other guys that I like to take waivers on there that the floor that Nico Collins offers, not knowing who's going to be throwing him the ball yet, I don't know if that's something I want to do.
Yeah. Well,
Especially depending on how big your roster size is in your league.
I would say it might be somewhat of a hot take, but Damian Pierce was a name that everyone loved pre-draft and did well last year, I would say. But they did bring in Devin Singletary. He's not a terrible running back. He's going to harp production from Damian Pierce. You're going to want to take Damian Pierce probably, what is your RB2 maybe? He probably is already taken, so you can't take him as an RB3, but I would try and stay away from Damian Pierce because Devin Singletary could take a lot from him.
I agree. I think he brings there's an element to his game that Pierce didn't seem to have last year. He's more versatile. He could be on the field for more.
It just looks like he runs really hard, which is good for a running back, but
That's right.
he got hurt. Like, that kind of put some tear on him in his rookie season. So Devin Singletary is going to, I don't know if he'll be a third down back, but he like goal line carries, I can see just like they're going to have packages set up for Singletary. He's a good running back. I think he's respectable. So there's more of a tandem there than Pierce running the show like he did last year. So.
I mean, I'd play a little bit of devil's advocate. He was the third highest rushing of any rookie running back, but on a per game basis, actually had the highest. But he did get hurt, missed 4 games, and he had a terrible blocking average. Like, he's a terrible blocker. And so, like, on downs where you need another blocker, they're going to probably pull him off, put Singletary in there. And he has proven to be a little bit susceptible to injuries. So, yeah, like, I think he's going to be drafted really high. And so I think you're right. Maybe he's not the guy to overdraft in leagues.
Now, I think that we're bearing the lead here, as Phil would say. We talked about a receiver you wouldn't draft, but there's another receiver. Rocky said last week, if you didn't see it, that he loves the Texans wide receiving core, and they just had an acquisition that I think we need to mention. So that being Robert Woods. Stay the fuck away from Robert Woods. Don't draft Robert Woods. I don't think anyone is, but don't draft Robert Woods.
Well, I know if there's a receiver I'm looking at the depth chart right now that I would take here.
Dalton Shorts.
Late? Well, no. I was actually going to say Noah Brown.
Oh, really?
I do like the upside with Noah Brown.
Yeah.
Played for the Cowboys last year, right?
Yeah, and he looked really good when he played. He proved himself to be able to get open.
Yeah.
and catch the ball.
He's interesting to me because I think he's not going to be on a lot of people's radar, and I think it's like I said, if you have a league like my league that has a lot of roster spots,
deep league.
maybe late you take a flyer, or after the draft on the waiver wire you go grab him up.
No, that's not a bad move.
Dalton Schultz I don't hate either.
He'll be drafted like normally.
I'm
I
think he's going to be used.
Like he's a guy you should draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the Texans.
And then
Texans.
And then John Mechie is interesting to me.
Yeah, but he's second on the depth chart behind Noah Brown.
Yeah,
Mechie should be good, but
only because he's coming back from
leukemia. I think.
But I mean, when you look at like what they drafted him as, and his speed and route running, he was being compared to kind of like what Amari Cooper was coming out of Alabama. Mm-hmm. He is a pretty interesting prospect. And I think what we're going to see out of Woods, like you said, avoid him. We're going to see Woods.
Like the plague.
Yeah, we're going to see Woods be Woods. And I think these other receivers, Brown and Mechie, may actually like see the field.
It's a good take.
Okay, so I'll just start talking about the Titans here.
The Titans.
Remember them.
A few things to get out of the way. I think that you're still, if you're riding with Henry last year, I think you're riding with him again. I still think he's probably one of the top. I don't want to go out on a limb here, but
possessions.
He's probably like a top 6-7 back. I think probably if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
And at this point, I've been calling for his downfall for the last couple of years.
I was kind of wrong last year about that too.
He stayed healthy, so I mean, at this point, I just got to see it not happen in order to not believe in him. So I think status quo with Henry, he's probably not where he was as far as where he's going to go 2 years ago, but I still think he's right.
Wrong take.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
What just happened there?
That was scary.
Was there a nuclear war that we didn't know about? Did we just get bombed?
Amber alert.
Let's just move on.
Well, can I say something about Derek Carr real quick?
Derek Carr?
Derek Henry. I always have Derek Carr in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Henry, with the Titans in real life kind of being kind of like a decaying team that was a playoff team at some point, like maybe Henry gets moved or cut during the season.
That's possible.
I don't know if that hurts or helps, but that's something that at least fantasy owners, if you're targeting Henry, should be aware of, that like there could be some like real life movement between that team, because really what else is there besides Derrick Henry? So.
Okay, so this is perfect because what I was about to say, I was going to address. Wow, it's early. I'm sorry. I was going to address Tannehill and the uncertainty with him, because there has been a lot of rumors about whether they want to move on from him, all that stuff. He has 1 year left on his deal. But I'm reading this from Twitter at Buck Rising, who's a sports guy verified from VTZO Sports.
Buck Rising
Spoke to Vrabel.
That's like a porn name. He definitely does porn on the side.
Yeah, he
Buck
might.
Rising.
He's got a nice beard, so you're probably right.
Yeah.
So he spoke to Vrabel. Says Vrabel spoke to Tannehill about the direction they were headed. I don't want to speak for him, but he sounded excited. Adds that Tannehill has been in the Titans building every day. So something like that makes me think they're probably gonna
commit,
run it back one more time while he's still under contract. So I think that may throw a little water on Henry getting traded.
Yeah, it's good.
With that being said, so that clears up some stuff as far as the other skill position players for Tennessee. I still think I like Treylon Burks, and he's another guy.
I do too.
Based on where his value is going to be by the time you're drafting, I think he can be. He wasn't awesome last year. He played 11 games. Yeah. If we extrapolated that out to a full season, he'd be somewhere around 60-plus catches and like 3 or 4 touchdowns. But I think he can be better with the full off season if he stays healthy. So I'd say I put Treylon Burks in the category of a guy to watch out for. Just, not all in on him, but I think it's interesting to see where his value is going to go and where you could get him. But a guy that I really love, I got to make sure I say his name right, is Chig. I'm just going to say Chig because they call him Chig. Okonkwo, who's their tight end.
Okonkwo, yeah.
Okonkwo.
You got that right.
So Chig Okonkwo, rookie tight end last year. Few things to mention. Athletic freak, the guy, right? I'm sure you know about that. But last year at his position as a rookie.
Me or Rocky?
No, Rocky.
Okay. Yeah, Rocky's he's tall and big. and can run.
So the tight end. So last year he was the most explosive tight end in his position, and we're tracking that by average separation per route
With Kelsey?
2.61 yards per route run, which led all tight ends. It was ranked third in the NFL behind Jay Jettis and Tariq Hill.
Dang.
Right. The other thing about him is that he strong hands. Seems like he knows what he's doing, and their offensive coordinator didn't really start using him till halfway, like somewhere halfway through the year, and he started to come on. I mean, if you were playing Madden at all, you seen his ratings go up, and the guy became a beast, like for some of the Madden champions. But he's very intriguing. I think he's a breakout candidate. I've seen that. I'm not going to lie and say I haven't seen it other places. I have. But just his athleticism, his route separation, and their need for a primary target, I think that he's a guy you should probably invest in because I think he could crack.
Yeah, it's
your
not
top
bad.
7, 8 tight ends next year.
Yeah, right behind Firemouth probably.
Yeah, right behind Friday.
No, I had him in one of my sleeper leagues on my dynasty team last year because I traded Pitts away. I got off the Pitts train and then I picked him up off waivers and he did pretty well for me. And that's a crazy stat about the Jay Jettis thing though.
That is crazy, right?
Yeah.
2.6. It is crazy, and then I think he averaged 7.8 yards after the catch.
I think you actually just put him in my queue in my fantasy drafts. I think.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
just talked me into Chig.
I found out about him really last year, mostly through Madden.
Yeah.
And guys just him routing linebackers and safeties up, and I was like, who? You know, he reminded me of Njoku.
Yeah.
That type of athleticism.
Yeah.
But the kid, he looked good, and I think
Do they still have the same offensive coordinator from when Delaney Walker was there? Because the Titans had like stud tight ends for fantasy.
Do they still? I don't know if they still have the same.
But well, if they do, that's the cherry on top. Because like Delaney Walker was like a prime tight end 3 for a while.
The offensive coordinator is Todd Downing.
Look at that.
Let me look up.
Teaching people about things. You want to go with Jags or you want to go?
I'll go Jags next. I think there's a lot to like with the Jags, to be honest with you. I think that they kind of turned the corner last year, and probably no quarterback benefited the most from a change in leadership than Trevor Lawrence. What I like about Lawrence is if you look at the last part of that season, he really kind of turned on the afterburners. And what I love about him is that the way that he runs, he's not like a typical running quarterback, but 62 carries, almost 300 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
Kind of like Joe Burrow-ish.
Yeah, actually, 100%. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes kind of puts him in that category.
Yeah.
And so he's going to elevate a little bit up on your QB chart because of that.
The rushing, yeah.
He should be a top 3.
Yeah.
I think he should be a top 3 quarterback off the board.
I do. As far as running backs, I love Travis Etienne. I think he had a breakout year, and I think that he's going to continue as he gets worked into the offense. He also supposedly is adding some weight this offseason, which has been kind of like the only negative is he was a little bit small, but if he can add 5 to 8 pounds and retain his speed, it's just even better. As far as receivers, I think there's one that I would drop or sell if you can, and that's Zay Jones.
Yes.
2 reasons. Number one, he was virtually eliminated when he played against a great corner. The most glaring was Sauce Gardner absolutely made him disappear, and the Ohio State, Jeff Okudah.
There it is.
completely
Once an episode.
completely took him out of the game. And I think when you've got a guy with the skill set of Calvin Ridley coming back, I just think that he's gonna be minimized. But I love Ridley in this offense, and I love Christian Kirk. I think both of those two are strong starts.
That was my question. So like of the two of those, because me personally, Christian Kirk, well, from his ADP last year, like I saw right through it all, and I thought he was going to do well. But I feel like Kirk will now be drafted a little bit higher. With Ridley, there might be a lot of hype there too. I think Ridley could be a steal, but I think his ADP probably is skyrocketing as we have this episode. So like, who do you target?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'd still be targeting Kirk. I would be hesitant depending on where he's going.
Yeah.
I do think there's a chance that because of last year, he's going to be overdrafted a little bit. I think it just depends on how your board falls.
What round is too early for Kirk? If Kirk is projected to the 3rd round, is that too early?
Yes, for me.
Okay, so like what is too, Like, is the fourth then too early still? Like, what is the
late fourth? I would be looking at him if he's still around.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm starting to look at him in the fourth, and I think both of these receivers have the possibility of being overdrafted because I think people are going to be real excited about Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
But the reality is we haven't seen him in basically what
2 years?
2 years.
Do you think it could be an Allen Robinson type of deal? Or like it just
I think
'cause he
they're
is a little
different
bit
game
older
sets.
though. Well, yeah,
Well,
that's true.
He's
but
a lot younger than
He's
Allen
28
Robinson
though.
was.
28.
But Allen Robinson is also it's like 28. He's young. You don't.
Is he?
Yeah, Allen
Right.
Robinson like
No. he's not that young.
But Robinson, I
29.
think Robinson dealt with some injuries too, didn't he?
yeah, that's true.
Towards ACL. I think.
I just feel like Ridley and Kirk are complementary receivers, and they're going to play a lot more like Ridley did when who was the other receiver in Atlanta? They at one point had two
With
1,000
Ridley?
Yeah.
Well, it was Julio and Ridley
Julio
at one
and
point.
Ridley.
and
Are you
and then
thinking
before-
about before that with
there was
Roddy
a-
White?
Yeah,
And Julio.
So Ridley has proven the ability to be great with another receiver, and I kind of see that possibility with Kirk. And I think Kirk did most of what he did at the back half of the year. I mean, he had a good season all the way, but
Yeah.
they really turned it on in the back half of the year. If Jacksonville can start off as strong as they finished, there's probably more than enough to go around for two receivers, but I wouldn't hold on to Zay Jones. I was going to ask, what do you think about their tight end situation? Like, how do you feel about them?
Evan Ingram,
He looked good last year.
at times.
Yeah.
He had
I
like a
think
40-point game that boosts his
Yeah.
average.
Yes.
The
So,
thing,
yeah.
people are going crazy about Evan. So the Evan Ingram thing was a media thing for me. He was getting kind of, and it's a little personal thing here, but
Yeah.
it's because I know him.
broken
But
heart.
no, not broken heart. Is that was the
Yeah, definitely.
that was kind of the. Well, I'm actually pretty happy with what we have, but Darren
Oh yeah, now
Waller,
you have Darren Waller.
A woman scorned.
but
Scorned.
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 I didn't
spurned.
get that reference by the way
I
from
was
last
just
week.
calling you a woman.
Oh, heard. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Got left at the
Trying to
altar.
get back on track. So Evan Ingram, basically, he had the big game. The Jags were winning, and it kind of the media was running with, redemption story.
Yeah,
Truth is, that was his second or third best season. He had two better seasons with the Giants. So it's not something that we haven't seen from him.
it's smoke.
It's smoke. The thing that changed was that they had momentum second half of the season. They were a story, and he didn't have the big drops. So that's a plus. But
I'm
he's
staying
still
away
an
from him.
inconsistent player. And I don't know that. I mean, if you need a second tight end,
Yeah, if you need a
late,
backup, sure.
Yeah.
he's perfect for that. That you could play him in a matchup you feel good about, or your guy gets knocked down. I wouldn't feel bad plugging in Evan Ingram over streaming the tight end. But beyond that, I'm not really targeting him.
Well, and the reality is Zay
Agreed.
Jones is not Calvin Ridley at his best. And so Calvin and Kirk are going to, if they're both firing on all cylinders, are going to demand.
And Etienne is going to demand, I
Yes.
think, like
Yes.
4 or
Yeah.
5 targets.
I
a
do
game.
think, and I want to say this, I do think that Kirk benefited from kind of being the only mouth to feed for a long time in Jacksonville last year.
Yeah.
When he played with, I mean, Kirk comes from a Cardinals team that at the time was kind of stacked.
Yeah.
And he was
D-Hop.
really hit or miss. So me personally, I'm targeting Ridley. I feel like Ridley is going to be more of a quote unquote value for where he's projected to be drafted. And Kirk was kind of touchdown dependent in that he's going to have less touch. I think he had like 11 touchdowns last year, something like that.
Yeah, that's true. He's not going to do
The,
that
the,
again.
the only thing about Ridley is, but Ridley never really, to me, performed as the number one.
You're wrong. You're so wrong.
Yeah,
he had 1 year where he was
that's
the
the-
number one.
That's the 1 year well, that's after Julio left.
and then he was projected to be a second or third round pick, and then he was a second or third round pick, and
Until
then
he gambled.
no. Then he decided to step away from football for mental
Yeah,
health.
That's right, yeah.
And
yeah.
then you got the gambling thing.
The 1 year
Listen,
he was
there's a
alone,
lot
though.
going on, man.
Yeah.
There's just a lot going on.
he
is all
was
I'm
the
saying.
number one fantasy receiver that season. I had him on my team.
I just listen.
He had the chance. He performed.
He was
I
a stud.
disagree with
Listen,
this.
okay, you can't disagree with this.
Boo, stinky.
Okay, he had one great
where's
year,
the
right?
booze? Damn it.
Right? One great year.
that
The
works.
other 2 years he shared the load.
Pause.
The next year, he stepped away for mental health reasons, which I respect.
It went the other way, though. You're saying it backwards.
No, he 2 shared years, one great year.
One
And
amazing year.
He was so good that they let future Hall of Famer,
Julio
face of the
Jones.
franchise, walk.
Okay, then he stepped away for mental health reasons, and then he got in trouble for gambling.
Yes.
So it sounds
So,
like you don't tolerate mental health.
No, I tolerate it, but I'm saying, are those two connected? Was the pressure of being everything connected to that? Is it going to be like? Is he going to come back?
He's a big off the field guy.
Well, yeah, because I looked at like there's a lot that goes on in a player's head.
Yeah, but he looks ready to play.
Oh,
He looks excited to
but
play.
I mean, what do you mean by that? He looks
And
super
apparently,
cut.
didn't he only bet like 1,500?
He probably
Well, yeah,
does look super cut.
The betting is not my concern. My concern is if we believe in mental health, which we do, then
Yes,
we
we do.
have to believe that it could affect,
Well, I think also like
right?
Yeah.
It could play a big role on the field. He may not be able.
mental health is a roller coaster, and maybe he's just in a good spot right now. You only need him for a year if you're drafting in a redraft league. Dynasty, I mean, I still would I roll the dice on Ridley. I think he's had enough time. And when I say that he looks excited to play, it's not because he looks super swole.
But he probably does.
He probably does.
I think you are saying
he's
that.
probably, an athletics prospect, as Rocky would say.
You should have said
Specimen,
it.
yeah.
Say it.
But no, he just like
I say he's a freak in nature. is what I
Say
say.
it with your chest.
he's tweeting, he's excited, he's posting his jersey, he's got 0. Like
Oh,
there's a lot
nice.
of
Yeah, thanks to the freaking Eagles.
yeah, go Birds, man. That's a great rule change. And they kept the tush push in. We
No,
can
they
still
did?
do that. Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
I like that. I don't hate that.
All
neither.
I'm saying is like
I'm glad I would have
anytime, the reality, you hate to say it, but there is a small question mark.
with Ridley.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I think it's something that is small enough that you can draft the guy.
I'm still probably drafting him over Kirk. I agree, and I do think you might be able to get him a little bit later.
More value,
Yeah.
yeah. Like it'll be the correct time to draft him based off the ADP, but like Kirk, I think is going to be drafted as a wide receiver 1, which he was a borderline wide receiver 1 last year, but
But it
is
didn't make
not
my
the same
top 15.
situation.
That's all I'm saying. It's not making my top 15.
I'm so excited to see what this top 12 is going to be.
Yeah.
All right,
Besides
so
getting out of
Colts
me top
now.
12.
Let's hear some about who's left.
Indianapolis,
Indy.
yes. So the Colts, they're drafting a quarterback, obviously, which I think you have to draft
The
in
heartland of America.
the heartland of America. You have to draft the heartland of America's quarterback in dynasty leagues. I think in redraft leagues, you don't have to draft. Probably it's going to be Anthony Richardson, or they're projected right now. So yeah, AR-15, you don't have to draft in redraft, but dynasty you probably do if you need a quarterback like I do. In my dynasty league, I have Marcus Mariota and Zach Wilson.
That's sick.
Yeah,
you
it's
suck.
but I have like the fucking running back factory of the century. I have we'll talk about it off the air. But I
Marcus
just feel like-
Mariota.
Who do you
Great
have in
guy.
his league?
and
quarterback.
I had Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson's on a 2-year deal. Jalen Hurts is probably going to be tagged. Breaking news.
Yeah, I got a tag. Yeah.
So either way, okay. So
Wow.
yeah, so quarterback, it's out of the way. Jonathan Taylor, I'm glad had a bad year last year because you can rightfully so draft him at the end of round 1, and he will do, of course, a lot better than he did last year. The health thing you got to worry about a little bit, but the Colts will be better offensively to where you can. And Frank Reich's gone too, and he admittedly runs the ball a shit ton, even though he doesn't want to admit that. So he'll be a lot better. And Michael Pittman Jr. is okay. I don't think I'm really taking him where he's supposed to be drafted. But
Yeah.
if he falls, then it's a good value pick.
Yeah, I think people are people overdraft Pittman.
Yeah, I like Pittman. Great specimen there. Got him.
I
in
like
the-
him for what he is, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's like. I think he's performed a lot like Mooney.
Yeah.
And people have drafted him a lot like he's Devontae Adams.
He got a lot of targets and receptions last year, which is good, which was, I think, the separating point between him and Mooney. But really, what are the Colts going to do at quarterback? Because they have Gardner Minshew, who they got from the Eagles. And
he's consistent. He'll be a
he's a
decent-
good quarterback. But then if they're drafting Anthony Richardson or a prospect behind him,
Yeah, it hurts things.
how's that going to benefit Pittman? I don't know. I think if Gardner Minshew plays the entire year, Pittman could be good at the back end of the season. So if you get him as a wide receiver 3 or like a flex and you can afford to wait until the production happens, sure, but he's not going in the draft like that.
Yeah, I think the quarterback situation definitely dictates how we feel about Pittman right now a lot. I think with a more explosive, stable, better quarterback, I think he'd be who we think he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
As opposed to Mooney, who I think is skilled. I think Pittman is kind of a full package type of wide receiver.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think he couldn't thrive at a number one role. So look into the crystal ball here. If you see Pittman move sometime soon to a better situation, that's somebody I would target and maybe get that at a better value because of what he looks like in Indy.
So feel comfortable drafting Jonathan Taylor where he's supposed to go this year. And if you want to roll the dice on Pittman, sure, but I'm probably not looking at Pittman. So
yeah, I can't disagree with that. And there's not much else with this.
no, the AFC, the Souths are kind of lame.
South suck, man. South sucks. We hate the Carolinas. We hate the South.
We hate the South.
We hate the South. All right, let's move on to our pressing issues, boys.
Pressing issues. What's the issue? If there's issues, we're gonna press them.
My issue. This needs to be louder. Give the people what they want, man.
I forgot that we were doing this, and I had given no thought. So this is going to be a
Sorry,
broad.
I got the schedules coming up, so we're gonna do just the AFC South, I think.
Yeah, I put our teams just in case, but
Yeah.
So I mean, we can explain what we're doing. We have.
All right, so I'm gonna pull up the schedule. We're looking at the over unders for the AFC South win totals: Jags, Colts, Titans, Texans, and we're basically gonna take the over the under, like you would if you were placing a futures bet. If you're out in Vegas right now on a boys' trip on a birthday,
Whoa.
watch our other show, Guys on Draft. We drafted best
That'd be a lot of fun.
birthdays / years, ages. You'll like that show. So the Jags schedule, let's see. We don't have it scheduled here, but we do have their opponents.
Well, the Jags, the South plays the AFC North
I have it here.
for sure this year.
So the Jags do play the AFC North, and it looks like they play the NFC South.
Oh, my God.
nice. So
They
it's-
also play
it's
over.
They also play San Francisco.
Ooh.
When
though? With Sam Darnold?
Other team? San Francisco. They have the Bills on here, and Texan. No, that's the South.
I'll make it easy. Over. Jags 9.5. I'm going with the over.
And the Chiefs. So they're two out of they're two like wild card ones. They're the Chiefs
and
the Saints. I mean the 49ers. And who's the other one?
Cardinals.
I'm taking 10 wins for the Jags. Like,
Well, look,
Exactly.
they're playing 49ers, Bills, and Chiefs.
Oof.
those could all be losses.
Yeah.
They could be. I think they play the Bills
So they
pretty
beat.
close.
So they beat.
They play the
You're saying
Bills.
they beat
Bills
the-
away.
Beat the
I
Texans.
think they could beat the Bills.
Okay.
You think they beat the
In
Texans
Buffalo?
twice?
Yeah.
Okay.
If their defense doesn't get any better, Jags will be a good offense next year.
Okay. So 10 wins.
So I think they get 5 in their own. They beat the Texans twice, Colts twice, Titans once. That's 5.
Yeah. Well, I don't know because AFC South matchups are fucking weird. Like,
Yeah, they are.
never-
I'm going under here. I'm looking at their away games. They
play Cincinnati.
played Bills away. They played Browns in Cleveland. They play.
I think they could win that game.
They can win it, but it's not an easy like on the road.
Yeah.
They go to New Orleans to play in the Superdome.
I'm favoring them. I think they go all defense in this draft. I think they get better on that end of the ball. They already have a good offense, and they have a little bit of a hey, we're a playoff team, so let's play like one. And I think it might be a little bit of a this number is trying to get everyone that watched them in the playoffs last year and lose a close game to the Chiefs, and I'm kind of taking the bait a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they barely make the over. On
I
this.
think they barely make the. I think they win like 9 games.
Fair.
Okay, so that's
Well,
the Jags.
what'd you say?
Yeah, I'm struggling because I think that
thought you
they
said, I'm
lose
sorry.
to Kansas City.
Yes.
I think they lose.
Well,
yeah. So lose to Kansas City. Maybe they win one of the other two,
yeah.
right, with San Fran
and
the Bills.
Bills.
Depends on when they play San Fran.
But I
San
think
Fran
they
doesn't
get
start
5.
off hot.
No,
true.
you're right. But they get, like I'm saying, they'll figure out a way to win 5 in their conference. Win 1 there, beat the Steelers, beat the Ravens without Lamar. I'm betting that. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. I do think the Browns and Bengals, it's a challenge.
Yeah. It won't be an easy game.
But,
yeah,
but I would say 9. I'm going to go under.
Yeah.
I'm going to go under here.
Yeah,
That's a good spread, Caesar Sportsbook.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the Titans here. The Titans are given a 7.5. So over or under 7.5 games. And I'll give you some of the highlights here. Obviously, the NFC South, like we said before, they're all playing the NFC South. They're also playing the AFC North. So other teams that I see they're going to get the Chargers. They're going to get Seattle. And they're going to get Miami.
Ooh.
So they're playing on the road. They're getting Miami on the road, the Saints on the road, obviously.
That could be a loss for them.
Pittsburgh on the road, the Browns on the road.
I'm taking the under. 7.5. I'm taking the under.
And then
Titans will continue what they did last year, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under here too.
Yeah.
Because like everyone wants to say that the Titans are a Derrick Henry dependent team, and from a bird's eye view, they are. But the last few years, like they were a good team. They had a great defense. They were extremely well coached. The defense is starting to fade a little bit. The coaching, I like Vrabel as a coach. I think he's like one of the best ones currently.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
But
kind of boring.
Now they
though.
kind of really are a Derrick Henry dependent team. I mean, we like Okonkwo we just talked about,
Yeah.
but the teams that are playing, I'm taking the under.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over here. I think that good coaching doesn't disappear. I think they're going to reload on the defensive side of the ball this year.
Yeah.
If you get a healthy Trey Burks, you get a Okonkwo, have a breakout year. Kind of, they never really replaced the production from A.J. Brown last year.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're thinking
I'm
Burks
thinking
may come
Burks
back
on
in.
the field with a full offseason, staying healthy, and Okonkwo. I think they can, and I just think in that division, they can still win 4 or 5 games in their division.
Yeah.
And I think if they can do that, like I don't see why they can't beat the Chargers at home or the Seahawks at home. None of these teams really scare me, and I like Vrabel. I like what they've done. They've been consistent. Last year was the first year we seen a fall off, so I like them to go.
You've always been a Titans guy. Every year the
They're
Titans,
well coached,
we're
yeah.
around. It's this time of year where the Titans are getting kind of disregarded,
Yeah.
and they'll probably. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, they could
One of
very
us
well
is
hit
wrong.
the over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of us is wrong. We
I
don't
think
know
I
who
could
is.
probably be wrong.
Yeah, no, we could be for sure. Texans.
Well, you didn't pick. What'd you pick?
No, I did. I said under.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh.
we're going Texans next? Sorry, let me
Yeah.
pull up their schedule.
Texans at 5.5.
5.5 for the Texans. Ooh. Okay, let's
How
see.
the Texans will be better, but how better?
Well,
is
and I
the
think
question.
so much depends on their quarterback play. Do they stick with Davis Mills one
No.
more year and let the rookie they draft sit? Or do they play the rookie immediately? Davis Mills has been up and down, but he hasn't been terrible.
Yeah, but if you're drafting probably Bryce Young, they're going to go into OTAs and be like, it's going to be a competition, and then guess who's going to start week 1? It's going to be Bryce Young.
The 5'6" Bryce Young.
Yeah, the 5. Yeah,
All right, they're not showing their. Oh, here we go. I found it. They weren't giving it like the other pages.
I mean,
Okay, here we go. So for their away games, we'll start with those. They get the Jets on the road. They get the Panthers on the road. Atlanta on the road. And they go to play the Bengals and the Ravens on the road, which is going to be 2 tough games. And then they have the Broncos, the Bucks, Steelers. Yeah, I mean, they have a pretty tough schedule.
I want to root for the Texans really bad, but I got to take the under here. I think they'll probably win 4-5. They're going to draft a quarterback. If they draft another receiver, then there's some playing room on offense or wiggle room on offense. But DeMeco Ryans is a defensive guy. They probably go quarterback, and then I feel like they stack up on defensive draft picks because they had a bad defense last year too. They have too much to address.
Yeah, this is a rebuild year. I can't pick 6 games for them to win here. Just their home games is like
6 is a lot, man.
It's like 1 game, maybe 2. I could favor them in. Not even favor them. I can see them beating the Colts. I can see them beating the Bucks at home. I can't see them beating anybody on the road at this point. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
there's not one team here. Falcons probably the worst of the bunch. I'd still favor the Falcons in Atlanta over the Texans. So
I think the problem is the NFL is just, it's so close. Like every game, there's not really a lot of easy victories
Any given
anymore.
day.
Yeah. I'll go under, although my heart says the Texans have done more moves than anybody in free agency.
Yeah, no, they're on the right track.
And I feel like they could surprise people and maybe get to like 7 wins, but I'm going to go under.
Steven's steep. I think they
It
could be
is steep.
surprising by
Yeah.
beating a team that like beating the Falcons. I can see it happening actually. Like they could surprise in moments, but they'll be like a really satisfying 4-win team. Like that organization, that locker room, they're going to be excited with those 4 wins. It's going to be like a character development year.
My
All
head
right.
says under, my heart says over. But
what
I'm
we'll
gonna go
do,
ahead.
I think what we're gonna do, we'll do one of our teams today.
We haven't done the Colts yet, though, have we?
We have? I thought
No,
we did.
we didn't do the Colts.
Yeah. But I mean, this is easy. I'm going to
The Colts
go.
don't count. So
Yeah. I think the Colts are a quarterback away from being a really solid
We
team.
said that last year too, man.
Yeah.
we said
but
that
they,
last
like
year.
on paper, they have an above average offensive line. They have decent receivers. They have a great running back. Defense is pretty good, you know.
they're on the road for the Ravens and Bengals, and they have the Rams coming in, the Steelers coming in.
The Rams are beatable. Steelers are beatable.
And they have Shane Steichen, who will elevate them offensively.
Yeah. I think this is an over situation.
I think this is an
for me.
over too.
Oh, you guys are.
I like Gardner. I think he's a consistent quarterback, and he's not exciting necessarily.
Also played with Steichen last year.
Yeah, but I think he's somebody who can, eke out seven.
You know what?
guys-
I'm reversing that. I'm going under. I'm looking at their
I'll
first 3 home games in division. I think they can lose all 3 of those games. I think they can lose to the Texans. I think they'll lose to the Jags and to the Tennessee Titans. Then you got Cleveland, Steelers. Yeah, I'm going under.
I'll go over here.
I usually, for some reason, I advocate for the Colts. I have no idea why. Kind of like how Rocky hates Carolina for no reason. I kind of like the Colts for no reason. But I'm gonna go under here because they have a good running back. Michael Pittman's not terrible. Gardner Minshew with Steichen won't be terrible either. But they're drafting the quarterback of the future. They won't be extremely pissed with a losing season because it's a new quarterback, new head coach kind of deal going on. And I mean, their offensive line's the highest paid in the league, and they don't play like it. Their defense is getting a little leaky. Besides Shaq Leonard, who is getting older, I don't really know what else is going on there, so I'm gonna go under.
All right. So what I was gonna say is maybe we should do one of our teams, and next episode we do another one and just throw them in.
Yeah, so just pick a team.
Yeah. So we're gonna do the Browns.
The
because
Browns.
Rocky has their schedule pulled up. I'm looking at them. So let's talk about the Browns. The Browns
8.5.
8.5.
It's a lot of games.
Yeah, it's a lot of games. I think that, it's not just me. You hate to win the offseason, but the Browns made a lot of good moves in the offseason. I think as far as their wide receiver core, they really brought in, to me, an exciting group.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they shored up their defensive line, which they needed to. And they do have enough draft picks to where they should be able to address some of the other issues.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, the Bengals are tough. The Ravens are tough. The Steelers are tough. They do play the Rams, who I think are beatable. They play the AFC South, which I think the Colts are beatable. I think the Texans and the Titans are beatable.
They're on the road for Denver, Seattle, and LA, which are all big trips. I mean, you're coming
Right.
from Cleveland, but that's still West Coast. It's a little tricky.
If you had to give an honest rating for your defense, like because you guys lost Greedy Williams, I know that.
Yeah, Greedy was not anybody that I was afraid
So you still have Clowney?
No, we did not get. We lost Clowney, but that's good.
Yeah.
We got
The franchise killer, Mark would say.
yeah, we got a defensive end from Texans, Obi, and I cannot pronounce his last name.
OG Mudbone?
We all know Obi.
Yeah, but he limited snaps. He actually was an inside linebacker for the Rams, then signed with the Texans. But the last 9 games had 6 sacks and was number 2 to Myles Garrett and Bosa in almost every category. So it's promising if he can maintain it.
I feel like your offense will be surprising this year because Watson will be better, of course.
I think Elijah Moore was a good pickup.
And I mean, yeah, you guys, I actually like your receiving core. Cooper is good. DPJ is a good 2, and more to be a third that could potentially be a 1 or like a 2A.
Marquise Godwin is better than any stretcher we had.
I just think you guys are like, if 10 is the best for like an NFL team on offense and defense, you guys are like a 7 on both. Like, I don't think you're good. I don't think you're great on either side.
I think the X factor here is Deshaun Watson, and I think
I think you're right.
Because of how he looked in this, when he came back last year, he's not being looked at as a difference maker that I think we used to be and could be still.
Yep.
I think they can win 9 games because I think the Ravens are going to be down.
Yeah, I think we could. Yeah, I mean, we honestly always played the Bengals really tough.
Yeah.
But, so I think we at least split.
Yeah, but I can't give the over to everyone in this division, and if I'm giving the under to the Ravens,
to everybody?
No, I'm saying like I can't. Like I'm looking at the AFC North, and like if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, the Ravens are obviously an under, but the Bengals only got better with Orlando Brown and what they got on offense as well. The Steelers won 9 games last year. No one picked them to win 6.
I think we win 10 games.
That's true.
10 games.
Here are the victories.
Okay.
We beat Pittsburgh once, Cincinnati once, Baltimore once. We lose to them each once. We lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but we beat Tennessee. We beat Arizona. We lose to the 49ers. We beat the Texans. We beat the Colts. We beat the Rams. We beat the Bears. We beat Seattle.
Damn. Yeah.
10 games.
I'm gonna give you the over, but I'm gonna give you 9.
Yeah, I see 9.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
I just think our schedule is good for us. We have a last place schedule.
Yeah.
The Bears are beatable.
That's very true. One of these worst, the first is going to happen.
Yeah. That's the only reason why.
Dog pound. Cleveland Town.
Good dogs.
All right, boys. Well, that was the show. Mark, we missed you. Hope you guys liked the show. If you're going to bet some early futures, use our numbers. They're going to be good. We promise. We guarantee it.
And here's our address in case we...
Here's our address. But, yeah, please, thank you for watching. Go find us on all our socials at GON Podcast on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and especially here on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Spotify, Apple iTunes Store, and stick around. At the end of this video here, you click the little video we put in the picture. It's going to be like right here.
Or there, here.
Right there. For Rocky's top 12 wide receivers. Besides that, we love you. Peace.